My Hero Academia's latest movie hits theaters this weekend in the United States, and man, did it get me hyped and remind me why I love this show and just these characters so goddamn much. Yes, it absolutely did. We got a lot to discuss, and it's time to get into it all. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're going to be discussing My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission, when a cult of terrorists ruins a city by releasing a toxin that causes people's abilities to spiral out of control. Japan's greatest heroes spread around the world in an attempt to track down the mastermind and put him to justice before he can do more. Now, I was very interested from this movie, from just a little bit of teasers that we had seen from it, and clearly I love My Hero Academia. This is truly enough, probably one of my favorite animes I've ever seen. And my big New Year's resolution this year was to get more into anime. And, you know, I'd always grown up with it and loved it, but never dove really deep into it. And I wanted to expand my horizons and truly bring myself back into it. My friend recommended this series to me, and I've absolutely loved it to no end. I know it's like one of the most popular anime series of all time. I don't care what your guys' thoughts are. I freaking fell in love with this. Both the movies previously before this, I thought were really good from the first one to the second one being amazing, and I think the third one kind of falls in between there, especially within its amazing third act and some of the action scenes, which we'll talk about in a second. But purely enough for me, this is an exciting movie. There's a lot to discuss, and I'm sure if you guys are here, you're probably either really excited for the movie or in general have already seen it. So let's have a great conversation down below and let me know what your favorite My Hero Academia character is, as well as making sure to hit that like and subscribe button if you enjoy anime, TV, movies. That's what I love talking about on this channel over here, and if you're here, you're in a safe spot. Also, make sure to head over to my Twitter at Pope the King. If you want to win this nice little booklet they handed out at this theater. I know not everyone happened to have gotten one tonight, but if you want to win one of these, follow me over on Twitter. I'm going to be giving it away over there very soon. I got 2 of them. My girlfriend said, hey, give it away over your channel, so shout out to her. If you win this, it's all on her. Let's give her a shout out in this. Of course, with every review, let's start with the major pros of this all. And My Hero Academia kicks off in a great stride. The thing that I love about this world and the stories that they always tell are purely enough the characters. Now, most notably for this one, this is a very heavy Deku story, which is pretty much all the movies and pretty much the entire show's run. But for me, what it comes down to in this movie was purely him and this new character named Rody, who I really came to like. When they started introducing this new character, I didn't know how I was gonna feel about him, and I usually don't like when anime movies do that, especially when we're already attached to a wide range of other characters, but he became a major standout, especially throughout the entire film, and especially during the middle arc of it all, where it really much is just about Deku and him bonding to a certain degree, and I really dug almost all of that, and actually found it to be some of the strongest elements of it all, to the point where I actually got pretty emotional when you find out about Rody's past, and how he might be intertwined within this entire mission. Adding in there as well, Bakugo and Todoroki, just seeing them pop in here to have so much fun, and in general, them kind of going out to try and find Deku, because Deku's on the run. As we've seen from the teasers, that he is framed for murder for like 12 civilians, which is pretty damn insane. And obviously, everyone knows Deku doesn't do that. Deku's a hero, we all know that. But it's up to them to kind of clear his name, figure out what's going on, while this cult is kind of working under the underside and trying to rise up and destroy all the heroes out there. You know, it's a typical hero story, but those characters are the pure reason why I like it. Adding into another pro, I mentioned that the middle arc of this movie is really much about Deku and Rody and their relationship. And in a sense, Rody is, when we meet him, he's not a great guy. He's, in a sense, kind of a villain. Robbing from the rich, and I guess it's kind of like Robin Hood, but robbing from people in their stores and riding off into the sunset with it, that's not what Deku stands for. And having these two characters who have completely different ideologies are very interesting, because as they start to understand each other more, Deku understands more of the villain's perspective. I think Rody understands more of a hero's perspective. As Deku starts to learn more about Rody, you start to see that, no, he was pushed into this life. I always find stories and characters like that, and the way that they can be written, if written very well, can make you very emotionally grasped into their story. And especially seeing where Rody's character ends up going is very interesting, to say the least. And that whole middle arc of it all, I thought was some of the strongest storytelling that they've done for a My Hero Academia movie, because I know the first movie and the second movie, they all pretty much follow the same exact structure, build to the story, have some exciting set pieces. All right, we're going to introduce lull a little bit with the characters and then get into an insane third act, and every single movie has done that exact same way, and it's always fun and exciting. But I found this one actually did the best when it comes down to that development of characters and introducing a new character to it all. And like I mentioned, the third act absolutely made my jaw drop. Just like how the second movie had made me do it when Bakugo and Deku came together. Oh my god, is this insane. There's Bakugo, Todoroki, and their fight scenes that they probably get with these certain cult members that they have to fight. It was insane, and oh my god, Bakugo's was... what the fuck was going on there? Now, when you get to Deku, who has to actually fight off the cult leader himself, and you start to learn what the cult leader's abilities are, whoo, you're just sitting there like, how is he going to beat him? That's one of the most exciting aspects of it all, is seeing those fights and Deku truly going insanely out of his way to no matter stop him. That's some of the stuff that I really enjoy in My Hero Academia, and especially in the movies, is how just balls to the wall they go. The animation, the action, it is so action-packed and exciting, it is hard not to have your jaw laying on the floor, especially if you're a My Hero Academia fan. Gets goosebumps going straight down my skin. My skin turns cold. You see the hairs on my freaking skin go like spidey senses. The spider tingles happening during this moment because you know what is happening next. You just want to sit there and scream with the audience, plus ultra! That's truly what My Hero is all about. And again, the third act, you got to see it for yourself. The third act of the second movie was quite insane, but this one has its money for it. I loved it. And honestly, when we come down to my cons, I only have one con in here. And the one thing that I think the second movie and probably the first movie, and just in general, My Hero has done really well, is when it actually comes down to the villains, building them up and actually building up the idea. When it comes down to this cult member, while you learn a lot about them throughout the story and some of the ways that it might tie into some of our heroes, I actually found that to be some of the weakest elements. Yes, I understand why he's going for it, but it feels very rushed in the back half, and I actually wish they would have expanded on that a little bit earlier, per se, like how they did in the second and the first movie. I just never really understood completely the cult's idea, as again towards the third act it's a little bit rushed and exposition heavy, like, oh, this is why I'm doing ha ha ha, mustache twirling villain, like typical. And it's funny because this villain actually does kind of look like he has a mustache. It's things like that that I actually wish they would have expanded on just a little bit more. I think 10 minutes of an extra runtime would have really packed into this film and maybe made it a little bit stronger overall. But even by then, it's a My Hero Academia movie. You're going to the theater to have a blast, to have an action-packed time, and just entertain yourself with all the other fans and friends that you go with. I took my girlfriend to this, who has never seen a single thing of My Hero Academia besides what I've talked about or showed clips of, and she loved this. She walked out and went, I want to watch more of this now. I want to see the other movies. I want to see the show, and I think that's the best way that you can kind of go into it. Yes, I did give her some background context going in, but this is still just a fun debut of the characters, and I think for me, while there are other heroes I wish we would have seen more of in this, that's a completely different nitpick. They didn't even need to be in the story. I just find this film to be purely entertaining, and that's why I'm going to give My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission a B+. Thank you once again, guys, for watching this. You guys are seriously all the best. I can't wait to hear your guys' thoughts on this movie and hear if you guys disagree, agree with me. Let's discuss it. Leave a comment down below what your favorite My Hero Academia character is, and as well as a ranking of all 3 movies so far. Again, for me, the second movie was probably my favorite. This one was probably my second favorite, and the first one was probably my least favorite. They're all purely entertaining, and I think we can all have fun talking about them there. Thank you once again for watching this, though. If you're new here, guys, again, hit that like and subscribe button. Head on over to CMTron Films on how to see films early, and of course, it's a big thing to you and a big thing to my Patreon supporters. Without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. And also, if you're in the Arizona area, head over to the Scottsdale International Film Festival's website to check out some cool movies early coming out soon. So, of course, until next time, stay classy.